Hello, testing 1, 2, 3. So here's a watch that my late father, had in a collection of stuff, and it is a hunter's case watch made by the Elgin National Watch Company. And what I like about this watch, it's so completely worn. It was in Farmer Joe's overalls for every day of his however long he lived, and the gold plate has worn off. The plating underneath the gold plate is worn off, and now much of it's down to the very brassy bottom. And I just love this as an object. It's just so beautifully worn, just like his jeans are. And then he wants to know what time it is, if it's time for elk season to open or for victuals. He'll pop this up, and then you've got this delicate ooh la la, hands, and the little shiny bits on the little swags. And I just love the contrast of this to that. And the flip side shows even this thing is worn. Like, did he go? It actually does have a name on it, actually. I never even noticed it before, but the light is hitting it. Such. EHLERA? Alera? Or Alaire? I don't know if you can see, but there is a name there. And you flip that open, of course, and you've got all the fancy works on the inside. Now, this is a watch that my brothers and I inherited from my father. I don't think this was at all a heirloom of any sort. I know there was a watch that I gave him that is not an heirloom in that sense, a family heirloom. But anyway, so what I'm doing, if the cat can get out of the way, I've been coming up with ways of drawing these things on my iPad and on my phone, and on my iPad and using my phone to draw on a piece of paper. So I came up with this idea where I would draw a watch showing both the inside, the face, and the works. So I draw two circles, and what I've done, this is now the third one of these I've ever done, and then I've got the crown here, and then the back side has the crown here on the bottom, so I sort of do a little switcheroo, and then the chain is just in between, just to fill up the page. So let's do this. Let's do it. So this one has the crown up here on a perch with its toggle or whatever that's called, and then the chain here. This is one of those where the winder isn't at the 12, but it's at the 3, and what kind of watch that is, I do not know. But you take it out of your pocket, and you don't have to rotate it. You don't have to hold it directly up and down. You take it out of the pocket, and then it's sort of aiming at you. It's like a driver's watch on a wristwatch. You don't have to take your hand off the steering wheel to see it. I'm trying to draw this fast because I don't really know how much time I've got left on this phone before it says that I've run out of memory or whatever. Waltham National Watch Company. Anyway, so what I'm doing, I'm not drawing a patent drawing of this watch. I'm drawing my impression of it. I'm drawing the light that's coming through yonder window from the south here, which is sort of opposite of how I normally would. Now I could draw the this thing, but I'm not going to on this one. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, this is how I would draw a normal wristwatch, a pocket watch that has a just a front and a back. It doesn't have a cover for the works. I mean, they do have covers for the works that snap off or fold up, but many wristwatches just are, you just see this. The back is usually covered, unless it's one that has a glass back, which sometimes exists. So now I'm going to draw the back, and I'm drawing the back with the crown down at the bottom. And again, drawing this sort of calligraphically. As you can see, I'm not measuring and taking out a compass to draw a circle. I'm drawing it with my bare hands. Oh, I'm looking down here for this thing. This thing is over here. Sometimes you see them on top of that device. And that's what's fun about drawing watches, is they are so interesting. How different they usually, well, they all have a balance wheel, I guess, which is what I'm drawing right here. And they all have mainsprings, but sometimes there's, this has one gear that you see, one spring that you see, whereas other ones you see dozens of them, dozens of gears. Well, I don't know if you see dozens, but you see a dozen, maybe a dozen. So here's what I'm drawing here. And
you need light?
No, I'm fine, thanks. And so now you're saying, well, gee, this is a boring drawing, Mr. Gustafson. Can't you do better than that? Well, of course I can do better than this. And I'll show you how I'm going to do better. So that is calligraphic Elgin National Watch Company. It has other little designs right here. It has a serial number down here, which I don't even care about. Okay, it has another thing here. Bells are ringing, dings are whatever going on. And so now I'm going to take my watercolor. I'm using Waterman Blue water-soluble ink here. So now I'm going to take my big old fat watercolor brush. And I'm going to go, since I'm here, let's start with this one. I'm going to add a little bit of stuff here, watercolor, to sort of make it interesting. The sound in the background is a recording of the dog and the brother and maybe the cat. I don't know. Is the cat in that video? So it's really sort of fun drawing this way, where the ink dissolves and you can then sort of imply light sources and stuff. Now, I'm not going to draw the shadow, I don't think, on this thing. You go back with the pen and sucks up the ink. A little screw right there, and another screw right here. I like how the screws each reflect different light reflections. This is a little speed changing thing. When I draw these in color, I save the little rubies for last, where I dabble a little bit of black. A little bit of red. I rubricate them. Rubricate is when a calligrapher would take out the red ink and make some of the things red. Okay, now we'll do the front side. Okay, that's this way. This one, because it's a porcelain dial and not as interesting as the back side, I'm going to sort of treat the dial rather gingerly. I see that I put all of my Roman numerals way too close to the border, to the edge, but that's okay. We're not sending man to the moon. We're being impressionistic. Artistic license. Sloppy. That's the word we're being. We're being sloppy. Fuck this artistic license business. It's laziness and sloppiness. But it's also kind of fresh at the same time. Roman numeral 4s are often done with 4 lines rather than a 1 and a V. Okay, now the things about this watch is you have to make sure to do the bits, because that's part of the fun of drawing, is the sound effects you make. And then this one. How did they go again? So, there you go. Go back with my brush, just to add a little bit of oomph to this. Let me go back to your little gold dubers between the minutes at each of the 5-minute marks. It's really it's a watch that I think someone could say, someone once described a old watch that I had as a turnip, and they weren't that wasn't a term of endearment. It wasn't a turnip cased chain drive or anything. It was just, it was meant to be derisive. And this is a watch that, even if it was in perfect shape, I imagine this particular watch isn't particularly rare. But the fact that it's in such rough shape, I'm sure most people would say, well, it's valueless because of all of the trauma that it has. Well, you know what I say to them? F you is what I say to them, because they're missing the whole point of the beauty of this watch is the fact that it's was well loved and well used by the person that Grandpa Jones or wherever it was that had this thing. And again, the thing cracks me up that the outside is so crusty and the inside is so lady boudoir sort of routine. And I like that change. So here's my little portrait of this watch. Whoops. What do you think? Why is there a shadow there? Where's that coming from? Here's my watch. What do you think? Write your answers below. Add to shopping cart $1 million.